Yep, thank you. So the last presentation for today, I hope you are still alert. I'm going to talk a little bit about the digital journey we have done in the facility management area in IKEA and Inca Group. Today's menu, we have a short introduction. I'm going to explain a little bit about IKEA and Inca. I work for Inca, but most of you know this as IKEA. And then, a little bit about the journey then. We implemented a computer-aided facility management tool, and what that meant for us and what that forced us to do and changed us, and how it developed and our FM business within IKEA and Inca. And then what we see from our part as being mainly a retail company. What's the next step for us? We are a retail company, but we're also a big property owner. We own all our properties ourselves. So, who am I? Johan Ohlsson is my name. I'm Swedish. I work for Inca Group then. I have worked 25 years with property management in different companies. The last 8 years within IKEA and Inca Group. Started off as facility manager in Sweden, and then 4 years ago, I joined on group level, so I have the responsibility for facility management within the Inca Group. What is Inca Group then? Yeah, most of you have most likely seen this logo here, IKEA. And Inca Group, we are responsible for the IKEA brand in 30 markets across the globe. IKEA is the franchisor. They own the brand, they own the concept, they own the range. But Inca Group, we are the strategic business partner here. We operate most of the stores, and we deliver 90% of the results from retail comes from Inca Group, but we're not the same company. Inca Group, we operate 367 stores. We have actually passed 370 now across the world, mainly North America, Europe, Russia, Asia, and Australia. So of course, stores, the IKEA stores, are the big volume there, but we also have a huge part that is logistic buildings that support all of our stores. We operate a number of shopping centers, mainly in Russia and China, but also in Europe. And we have quite a few other, let's say, office buildings as well that we work with. Some figures. We are very proud of two of them. We're proud of all of them, but specifically two. We actually have 441 owned windmill, that is ours. They provide a lot of electricity to us and really supports our goal of becoming CO2 neutral in 2030. Actually, we are already there in some markets. Sweden, for example, my home country, all our stores there, or all buildings are self-supplied by our windmills when it comes to electricity. Gender balance, almost equal gender balance. We're really proud of this. Unfortunately, though, within real estate and facility management, we still have some way to go before we reach the average level for Inca Group. So, looking into our computer-aided facility management tool then, and how that has supported the development of facility management within IKEA. The background. There are 2 years I would like you to put in mind here. It's 2010 and it's 2015. So, if we jump back to 2015, we operated across the globe facility management and trying to support and understand what we were doing without having a clear understanding what is facility management. It looked different all over the world and all over the countries. A lot of contradicting priorities between facility management costs and other costs and retail costs. We have a lack of clear responsibility, since we didn't know exactly what is facility management everywhere. Different parts were responsible for different tasks, and that created a lot of confusion, of course. So we decided we need to do something about that. So 2015 then, we said we need to create the FM scope, a clear defined scope of facility management. And to support that, we have the tools, our CIFMERS tool, computer-aided facility management tool, of course, the backbone in that, but there are also other tools. So we have facility reviews, we have 5-year rolling plans, development tools, and so on. Working together, that is the area that tells us and supports us in how we work with our stakeholders. Who is setting the requirements and who is responsible for delivering on those requirements. People, yes, we need to develop our people. Competence profile, development staircases and so for our co-workers throughout all the countries and the different roles in the facility management organization, and the financial setup. Who controls the budget, who is responsible for the budget, who decides on the budget. CIFM then, that is the computer-aided facility management system that we used. We implemented this 2010. It has a lot of capabilities. I won't go through all of them here, but you can see there is a lot of capabilities in the tool. We use it all over the globe, more than 400 sites in 30 countries. We have over 10,000 users in the tool. It's a lot of work orders, a lot of service requests coming into that tool every day. It has to be used throughout the countries. English, of course, is the company language, but when we go down on local level on the different stores, it has to be local languages. So it has to be able to operate in 18 different languages. We need to fit it into SaaS and have it in mobile systems. And it needs to support all different kind of buildings as well that we have. So, our journey there then, as I said, 2010 was when we decided to implement that. And the decision came already then, of course. We had the background, with the unclear scope about what facility management is. How do we work with that? Who is responsible and so on? As I said before, we defined that 2015. 2010, we thought that the idea to solve all these issues is to have a good CIFM system, good computer-aided facility management system. That will solve it all for us. So, the conclusion. You have seen this before. I think it was a previous moderator that showed this. The journey we did, implementing a CIFM system first, without having a good structure of working with facility management, having roles and responsibilities, processes, clear scope, and everything that in place, that is not a good way of doing it. You can imagine yourself trying to implement this system in 30 countries, 18 languages, 30 different processes, 30 different understanding of what facility management is. It was fireworks all over the place. So you could say that actually implementing the CIFM system really forced us to develop facility management, to be very structured and organized in doing this. So what's the benefit then of having this CIFM system? Well, we see it. There are many aspects of this, of course, but it supports us in the facility management area by being a good dashboard. You can imagine you can drive a car. You couldn't drive your car without a dashboard. It's perfectly fine, but it's a bit dangerous. You don't know how fast you're going. You don't know if you have your turning indicator on. You don't get alerted if you have a brake failure. It's a bit challenging. You don't know how much fuel you have. It's a bit challenging. And it's the same thing operating facility management, at least for us in IKEA and Inca, all this store. Where are we? What are we doing? Which direction are we going on if we don't have a dashboard? And that before 2015, this was a reality for us. Locally, there was a clear understanding, but nationally and globally, we did not have that understanding. So these are I will just give you 2 examples here of what the dashboard for us could look like. So this is how many of the work orders that has been created on a 6-month period in Belgium. As you can see on orange color there, that is what actually is in the FM facility management scope that the guys are supposed to work with. Luckily, it's the big part. But you could also see here that there are 10% of the time, roughly, that they're spent on things that they shouldn't do, doing other things. That most likely there are other functions within Inca that are better suitable to do this work. So we can see here we have room for improvement and room for efficiency. 10% of their time, 10% of the time that they spend on work orders could be used more efficient. This shows the number of mandatory routines that we have implemented in a number of stores. The mandatory routines, they are things that has to do with safety and security, fire protection, and so on. And it's quite important to have this in place. What we see here is that most of the stores, in this example, they are around 40, where they should be. We see that one store is below 30. Why? Do we have a compliance issue here? If we didn't have this dashboard, that store would probably go on having a compliance issue, and that's not a good thing. So this is a little bit about our journey to setting up, becoming digital, and actually working with a digital tool to support and drive the facility management business for us. So what we see as a next step is, connect all these digital databases and touch points that we have. We are on our way. Today we have our Maximo system, but I told we have our facility reviews, we have budgeting system, we have the HR system. They're all kind of standalone. What we now need to do is connect all this so we can work together in the systems. And eventually the end goal is not to have all this data in different systems. We want them in kind of a data lake where all the systems can extract the data from. But we are not there yet. We have still some way to go. Go mobile. Yes, a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, we got Maximo, our CIFMERS system, mobile on our handheld. That boosts the way our colleagues works with CIFMERS. And if you get more input, you get more output. So it's being mobile, that's what really we see for all our systems. They need to be mobile. And then IoT, I think we have heard a lot about that today. We can extract data in so many different ways. For us, it's a challenge to understand what data do we actually need. How do we separate that? Because everything is possible. Integrity, we can measure people movements. We can see who's using what tool, where and when, who is using what desk, where and when. Do we want to do that? Is that complying with integrity regulations and so on? A lot of challenges in that. But it's coming. We have just opened the door a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that soon it will be wide open. So, finishing now with a proverb from an African tribe somewhere. This is the main learning we have from implementing our CIFMERS systems. We started off, we wanted to move quick, we wanted to have this in place. So we started off in the facility management department alone, and that I cannot recommend that. You need to go together with your stakeholders, hand in hand. It takes longer time, but you will reach so much farther by doing that. So that's our conclusion, and I thank you very much for listening to this, and I hope you kept awake the last part of the presentation. Thank you.